Hello, my name is Kerry Kirkpatrick, and I am the visual designer for the ACM SIGGRAPH Professional and Student Chapters Committee. The goal of these workshops are to improve the volunteer experience and to ensure that chapters can be successful and find resources they need throughout the year. We hope you enjoy this workshop.
So first, I'm going to show you what I've created, and then I'll kind of take you through the process of how I created it. So this here is a simple thumbnail you could use for like a YouTube video if you decide to upload one of your events. So that's what I've done here. Now, it started as this template, and the first thing I did was I didn't really like this background here. And this background is just an image. It's not something you can change the colors on. So first I go and delete that. And then I also deleted this guy. Over here under uploads is where it stores all of your images that you've ever uploaded. So that is really useful, especially when we have things we use over and over again, like the logos. So one trick that I really like is if you click on an image that has the colors of your chapter's brand, you can right click and then click Apply Colors to Page. And this is going to automatically change the colors for your things. And so if there's something you don't like I don't really like the background color, I'm going to make that white again. There, that's looking better already. So now we have, the colors are a little different here. I do like this darker gray here, so I'm just going to swap them. And I'll make this one white. There, perfect. So then another thing I didn't really want here is I didn't really want the text for the logo. So I'm going to double click and then just crop it. And then I like to press enter on my keyboard and we have that. And now to make this more dynamic and interesting, I'll make it larger and then drop it here in the corner so it's going off the page. And then here's where we can then change the text. So maybe it'll be for this event we're having today. It'd be cloud design in Canva. And then we can kind of stretch this, make this fit more, and just change it around until we're happy with the design. And also, under elements, in the free version of Canva, they do have quite a bit of elements we can choose from. So if you need another shape because maybe you want to put the name of the presenter, you could take this shape and drop it down here, make it whatever size you want. We'll say with Sunil and Kerry. And then we can go and change the font and the color. That was the background color. So we can choose which one we want. Maybe let's do the blue. And then for the text here, over here, we can see if any of these colors will look nice, and we can increase the size. So that's another thing we can do. Now they also have different things like stickers. So if we wanted this to kind of move a bit, we can make it more dynamic. Maybe where we want to make a GIF. So that's something we can do. And these movable stickers are most useful in the video templates, which Canva does offer. We're not going to go over them today, But if your chapter does have video content and you're trying to make that easy transition into doing video content, then Canva is also a really powerful tool for that. Then there's also photos, and you'll notice that some of them will say Pro, so you can't use them unless you're signed up for the Pro version. But there's still quite a bit. And now I'm going to go to the next one. So this is what I've created here, based off the template here. And something else we could do. So I have this asset that I made myself. So if you do have a designer on your team and there's like a picture you need or some kind of like symbol that you can't get for free in the Canva free version, you could make something with a transparent background and upload it and then drag and drop wherever you want to use it. And that can be a really nice feature to have. And because it's always going to be in your uploaded folder, you can reuse it over and over again. So this is the template I started with. So here, I didn't really like this information up here. Wasn't very helpful, and that's simply because we do have the logo already. Sometimes it'll try to be the background. So if that happens, we can click on it and say detach image from background, then it will stop fighting us. And again, I'm going to crop this. And then shrink it, put it up here. And then we could, and also another thing I want to show you, if you have something from another file, you could select it, copy it, and then paste it. And it goes from the one page to the next. So that's really helpful. Sometimes when we're in these like interactive web-based things, we can't copy and paste like that. But this is a feature I think is really powerful. And so the original way I had made this was I just went over here to the text and I added a subheading and I typed ACM SIGGRAPH and I changed the font until I was happy with that. And the same thing below, but that would have been a regular text body. And just like last time, apply colors to page. And this time it did something a little different. It's kind of cool though, but I still don't like this blue background. So we're going to make this solid white. That way it's a nice clean design and it's readable and we can see everything. Another thing I didn't really like was this down here. I don't think that's really necessary. Now I'll go back to this. I'll drop my brain in here and you'll notice it's kind of overlapping things and we want it to be further back. So we can right click this and we'll go to the layer and we can bring it forward or bring to front. Bring to front will put it in front of everything. We don't want that. So we're going to send backward. And we'll keep doing that until it's right where we want it. It's almost there. There's lots of layers in this. Okay, there. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to make it bigger. And right now it's actually still in front of that text there. Send it back again. Okay, now one other thing is the opacity. We can change the transparency and make it like, say 20. That's going to be a lot lighter. So we can bring it up a bit until we can still see it, but it's not too distracting. And then here I would probably just make the text black. All right. So then the last thing was I dropped the brain in here. Let's see. Now, that's another thing. I would also like this to be a little bit transparent. So we'll go to the 3 dots over here, and we can make this a little lighter. Let's just say 60. And I'll also do that to this and see how I like that. And if I don't like it, I'll just undo it. Nope, didn't do that right. It's not listening to me. There. Okay, so yeah, I don't like that so much. So now I can just go up here and undo. So that's how you can do that. And does anybody have any questions so far? You have a question?
Yeah. So, one of the things I was thinking about was like with if let's say that someone goes in
Mm-hmm.
and they've chosen a design, is there a way to lock all of the pieces that you want like someone else to come in when they get the picture, for instance, and slip it in? Is there a way to lock everything except for that one thing where
Yes,
they
you
can come?
can. Yeah, you can lock the individual pieces. So when I click on it, you'll see up here under the 3 dots, there's a little lock here. You'll click it. Now, when I go in here, I won't be able to like move it. It's just kind of like trapped there. And then you could go back in later and unlock it. But
Okay.
yeah, there is a way to lock it. And if somebody's coming in just to drop an image in, it's unlikely that they're going to accidentally unlock something. So, so I think that will be good. And also, I'm glad you asked that because I meant to mention you can click share. And what I really like about this is you can copy the link, but you can also say anyone with the link can edit this, or anyone with the link can view this. This is really helpful because I mean, even with volunteering with chapters, I've made some like digital marketing things. I've made things for the website before, and years later, somebody will say, "Oh, can we change this and add to it?" And I'm like, "I made that in Photoshop like 6 years ago. I don't know where that file is."
Yeah.
So here, so I always have to end up remaking everything, and then that's a whole project. So with Canva, we can avoid this situation by saying, okay, I've made this reusable asset. I'm going to copy the link and allow it to be editable. I'm going to share this with my team. That way, if I leave someday and somebody replaces me, they can say, oh, here's these links. Oh, that's that button we used for the website. Now I can change the text and we have the same button and we don't have to redo all this work. So,
Oh, that's yeah, because we use things so often. Even the other one that the group that I'm working with Figma, the
mhm.
stuff that we're creating for this design festival, we're actually okay. What did we do with this other one? And we're
Yeah.
looking at the other, the past postcards and stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that would totally come in handy. The other thing is selecting. Is there a way, because sometimes let's say something is like behind another layer.
Mhm.
What if that is the layer behind is the one that you want to select? Is there like some way to, instead of having
Yeah.
to select it on the design itself, is there a way to select that? There's not a good one here to like, but something that just a little piece is sticking out
Yeah.
or something.
I
It's
know
really
exactly what you mean. Like maybe this little triangle here. It's
yeah,
back here.
yeah, yeah. Some
So
little it's hard to like to get it.
yeah, if I'm having trouble grabbing that, I will do two things. I'll do one of two things. So either I'll zoom in and see if I can click it, and if I can grab it just enough, it'll let me select it. Now let's say I'll just take these shapes, these two. Let's say they're behind here. Now, of course, this is on top of that triangle completely. The way I would go about that, there might be a better way, but I don't exactly know myself. I would just take whatever's blocking it. No. I would take whatever's blocking it and then grab it out of the way and then try to put it back where it was before, which is not like
That's what
probably
I
the
did.
best thing, but that's what I usually do.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, though, also like if you guys using Canva have any like questions or anything, don't hesitate to just like contact me or Kerry and stuff and just say, hey, so we've run into this problem. What do we do?
And also one more thing, this is my my free account, but I do have a pro account. And one thing I really do like is the background remover. So let's say you have an image of a speaker and you're trying to like overlay it into the design in a way that like looks nice. Sometimes the backgrounds of like the portraits just don't work right with the design. It can actually remove the background pretty well. So I've removed the background on my own portrait for different things, and it also allows you to like put like a outline around it to kind of like silhouette the portrait. So there's really cool things you can do. So if we are able to get everyone set up with the nonprofit version, I think that would be a really great tool.
About Canva, like, is it bitmap or vector? Like, or can you have both, like Photoshop?
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Canva is bitmap. Figma, however, is vector.
Yeah, I know.
So
I noticed like when you enlarge the logo, it starts to look very pixelated and blurry. So,
Hmm.
and that's a like a always a very difficult thing to explain to volunteers and even speakers. I mean, it's computer graphics. You would imagine people know the basics of an image, but
Yeah.
it's not that. And so it's something I struggle with all the time. And when I saw that, I was going. My concern was like, how do you control the image quality, like for print, for example, or
right.
Yeah. And I know when we make files in Canva, there's options to like save it as a PDF for print and a PDF for online viewing. And they have so many different options, which I really like. So if I go to download, it'll ask like, oh, do you want to download as a PNG, JPG, like everything you can think of. So that's a really powerful thing as well.
yeah. Another question I had is like, has anyone looked into the agreement to see what happens to the ownership of the images that are uploaded to
Hmm.
Canva? Because very often with past tools, they were taking ownership of it, like even Facebook in the early days, and
Yeah,
that was a big issue with the design community.
yeah. I know a little bit about how Canva works with the templates. So I have a friend who's a graphic designer and she heavily uses Canva. So there's like different ways you can get your templates available for people to use. One of them is to like apply to Canva when they have openings, and they have a specific application process where if you're accepted, then you can say, okay, I'm a graphic designer. Here are my designs. These are the templates that other people can use. So
Mm.
if you're creating something yourself just within your profile, you don't have to worry about it being sent out and other people coming across it and finding it. That shouldn't be a problem. Even the images, like the logo here and the brain I uploaded, those are mine. They will not be found in the elements tab because I haven't applied to be a graphic designer that where I can share my images and get some of the royalties from it. So I hope that kind of answers your question, but then we do have those other questions out there, like if we do use these pictures, like what can we use them for? So
Yeah,
Um,
because you don't know, right? Like you don't know where they
yeah.
come.
Yeah, it's like you only
the
hope they uploaded them in the correct way.
Where are you, Carl? I'm like, I think all of us are like kind of familiar with Sly and Marina from Vancouver, but can you introduce yourself, like Carl? Like, what chapter are you in?
I'm with the Silicon Valley chapter,
Okay.
but I go back to the Bay Area SIGGRAPH when that was kind of both north and south.
Cool.
And I'm also involved with the San Francisco ACM chapter.
How many people, by the way, are at the chapter there? I know Ken is there, right? Carl, at the Silicon Valley.
Right. And Alesh and
Does everybody have everybody's name start with K? But
so when we did use this with the ACM chapter, one of the initial problems is we were confused about like the teams we had set up, and so someone would change something and like I don't see the change, and it turned out we were like in different groups or something, and so it was that was a initial confusion. And the other problem dealing with was trying to do it, some wanted to do a poster, but I was mainly focusing on kind of the main graphic we use for Meetup, YouTube type image, and get that done first.
And I see like a lot of the stuff that I've like done for the LA chapter, like when I've had to like write or rewrite stuff, I use ChatGPT in the same way that the template allows you to kind of get like 50% there. ChatGPT can do the same thing. You still have to go in and rewrite stuff and in your own voice and fix things and change things, but uh it can definitely help. So I think it's in the same way that something like Canva can be used to help the chapter get things done quicker and to get it done. I think those days where one person is kind of like the monolith design person, or this person is just totally into this thing or whatever. I think that's gone. For instance, one of the things I've noticed is that certain positions, people like that position, and other positions like membership, people aren't very interested in. And if instead you can just like share it out, like decentralize and let people do a lot of the different things, I think people would have a much better volunteer experience. And that's what we're all about, try and get the volunteers to have a great experience. And then they will want to come back and they will want to like volunteer again. They're like, oh yeah, I totally want to volunteer for like to do this stuff again. I had so much fun doing it. Or one of the things one of the aims for some of these workshops as well was that hopefully like everybody will discuss a little bit at the end, um get to know each other and get to like be acquainted with kind of like the things that maybe the issues that are faced in chapters, as well as how they're dealing with it. I think this is one of the issues that face chapters is getting stuff done. And um for instance, like at the LA chapter, when there's just one person who can do something, there's that bottleneck that happens, and it happens really often. The good thing about having stuff on the cloud and being simple enough that other people can use it, as you said, you can have like guidelines that that help people deal with this stuff and work with it. but the fact that they're able to go in there and make changes, which anybody can do, that doesn't rely on just this one person's expertise, makes it easy to decentralize the whole idea. For instance, design was always thought, you had to have a designer to do it. But we realized that the actual coming up with a design is really what the designer does. Just dropping in a photo, just changing some text, anyone can go in and do that. Once they have like the idea of how to do it. But as you brought up, and which is a good point, there should be some kind of guidelines depending on your chapter. Obviously, there would be like different guidelines, but that would be a good thing to have. So, like Sly was saying before, when you get new volunteers, if you have like a Google Doc that has some of those like special guidelines, just like, okay, here's the link. This is what you're going to be doing. When you do stuff on Canva, just work with this. And also, just do a quick orientation. To do the walkthrough through Canva. With people like maybe the new EC members and stuff like that. It wouldn't take as long as even this workshop, because in this workshop you really went into stuff that you wouldn't need to like go into for everyone. It's one of the things that I think work really well. For instance, with our website, once I was able to get everyone onto the website and able to edit the pages, things went so fast because everyone was able to go in. They had something that they were producing. They were able to go in. They got the information. They were able to go in and edit it on our system and change the stuff. They didn't have to send it all to this one person who was like the webmaster person and have it just pile up on his plate. Okay, you need to go in there and this is what you need to change, and all the really long emails detailing what he was supposed to do. They could just go in and do it themselves. And everyone was, once that really just cleared up that bottleneck. And I think this is kind of the same thing where you can clear up the bottleneck. It's good to try it out and see how it works, and if it's going to work for you or not.
And that concludes the end of this workshop. We hope that you enjoyed the valuable information that was provided today. And if you ever have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to the ACM SIGGRAPH Professional and Student Chapters Committee. Thank you.